Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for the new moon reading occurring early February, February 4th. Yeah, that's right, February 4th, 4:04. A lot of fours going on there. That's Eastern time, 4:04 p.m. That's Eastern time. Oops, times are going to vary depending on where you're at. And it is a new moon at 15 degrees of Aquarius. So we're back in this 15. It's 15-0, 15-0, like half the year. This is a lot going on. There's a big concentration here. We've still got the planets in Capricorn, the placements in Capricorn, then we roll on into the placements in Aquarius. By the way, I'm Vickie, really the rock and roll prophetess, and this is going to be an astrology-based reading, but it is a psychic reading. I tend to pick up a lot of stuff if you've never tuned in before. So there'll be psychic and spiritual stuff coming through as well. Okay, so there's a lot of Capricorn, which has been the vibration, but now we're changing the vibration and getting more Aquarius energy. The thing is that they're both Saturn ruled, although Uranus, I think Uranus is totally like, it's the new ruler, and I just go by that pretty much. But it is, people will say Aquarius is the co-ruler of Aquarius. In addition to Uranus is still Saturn. I don't know if I really don't use those a lot, but it's a thing. So it is a thing. So there's still a Saturn thing, vibration stretching across this whole section here. We've got Lilith, Mercury, Sun, Moon, and Aquarius. We've got South Node, Pluto, Saturn, Venus, and Capricorn. So let's look at this Aquarius stuff first. Sun and Moon conjunct, of course, that's what makes it a new moon, but the Mercury's in there, and the Lilith is in there too. So we've got to take all of this into account. New moons, first of all, are always new beginnings. This is a new beginning, a time to start something new. Where it would depend on your personal chart. But with Mercury, it's a time of communication. It's a time of reaching out. It's a time of exchanging emails, texts, back and forth of communication is going on. Highly likely more, Aquarian would be more on the lines of the technological, vibration. More texting, emails, posting on message boards, internet, Instagram, Twitter, whatever the case may be. There's going to be a lot of that going on. Lilith gets a bad rap, but I like Lilith. Lilith is strong, independent, way ahead of her time, as is the Aquarius nature. It's way ahead of its time. Lilith, this could be an argumentative vibration in a way, or people having strong opinions, let's put it that way. People could have very strong opinions, which, hello, welcome to 2019, right? 2018 and 2019. So there could be a lot of that going on too, on the internet and, on Facebook, Twitter, social media. People just having these really strong opinions. Aquarian energy, this is all Aquarius, and Uranus energy wants to break free of the norm. They want to break out. Or they want to be convinced that they are. That just came through very strong. Because a lot of the times we think we're doing something new and exciting, or we're thinking outside the box. But in this day and age, that can be a manipulation too. That can be old Saturn. Old Saturn, excuse me, let me hit mute on that. Sorry about that. Old Saturn trying to still control, but through the new technology, or making you think that it's something really new and exciting when really it's just this, it's a new way to manipulate and control. That can be a thing too. Lilith is pretty savvy though. Lilith is, she's going to call a spade, basically, and won't back down, she won't back down to Saturn or the authority. She's going to stand her ground, be independent, do her thing and speak her truth, especially when she's really tightly conjunct with Mercury here. That's 19 and 20. That's tight. That's right in there. And this is 1959, meaning that's as high as it goes. So it's right there. I mean, it's a very tight orb conjunction between Lilith and Mercury. So people are going to be speaking their minds. They're going to be stating their truths. With abandon, I'm hearing. Okay. speaking my truth with abandon. That's definitely nothing that I would ever say either. When these, I'm laughing because when these things, if you haven't seen my readings before, when these weird things come through that I would never say, then you know that it's not me talking, that I'm getting messages, you know. That's why I laugh about it, because sometimes it's really funny. Because that's something I think is pretty funny. I would never say that. But anyways, yeah, so speaking your truth with abandon. There can be enlightenment with this if it were allowed. If there could be a major enlightenment come through if one would allow it, you know, because Aquarius, even though it's, you know, the enlightened energy, the new age, the technology, this outer space, everything, advance, it's still a fixed sign. And the fixed signs tend to dig their heels in and don't want to make a change. They're fixed, you know. You know, this part of fortune got in this charts, and I'm just going to leave them in, but it's down here at Leo here. Leo, the thing about this energy versus this little spot, which the part of fortune isn't even a planet or anything, it's just a calculation, it's a point. But it's fortune, it's where you find the good stuff in the part of fortune, you know, it's where you could be fortunate or have luck or good things happen. So since these, I usually don't run them with here, but since they're in here, I want to talk a little bit about it. So the fortunate thing would be the Leo. Even though Leo is also a fixed sign, Leos don't usually carry grudges. Leos usually laugh it off, try to make a joke of it, have a good laugh, let's be friends, let's go to the pub and have a drink or a laugh, you know, let's have some fun with it. They're not brooding usually. You don't find too many brooding Leos, unless they've been really, really wounded, but most part Leos, nah. They're just, let's have fun, and, you know, or they move on to the next thing real quickly. So that would be the fortunate way to do things. That would be an alternative to maybe getting into an argument on social media with somebody with this Lilith Mercury. For sure that could happen, you know. Having some enlightenment, having the idea of Uranus and Aquarius energy is to see things a new way, to keep expanding all the way out to outer space, keep expanding, new horizons, new things, boldly go where no man has gone before. They're not giving me the words, but I'm seeing the Enterprise, and I'm trying to remember the Starship Enterprise. I'm trying to remember the whole spiel. Seeking out new lands or something. Boldly go. We're going to have to look that up. Maybe I should just do it now, huh? Look it up now. Oops. Because I think that's relevant. They're definitely showing me that really strong. Let me see here. Star Trek. I think there's something in there. Opening words. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, where no man has gone before. But what's the whole thing? Maybe Wikipedia will probably have it. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission. 5 years could have something to do with this. To explore strange new worlds. To seek new life and new civilizations. To boldly go where no man has gone before. Yeah. So that was coming through. But new civilizations, new life, new civilizations. So having this same old argument and having this being fixed and stuck is not that. Now, I can't think off the top of my head a 5-year cycle here, but I think that 5 years was also important. Because when I get these downloads like that, or I pick up lyrics, if you've never seen this, then I always listen to it because it has meaning very often. So there's some kind of 5-year thing, and it's applying to somebody out there. And I'm not, there's too many people to pin it down to what exactly it might be, but I think that's going to resonate with some people. Okay, so we're trying to be new, we're trying to be New Age, we're trying to break free of restraints, but yet we have to be open in order to do that. If you think you know the new information, or you've got the inside scoop, or, you know, is it really? You know, it's time to think about that. Is it really new, or is it just the same old dogma and being manipulated in a different way. You know, speaking of Uranus, here it is over here, it's conjunct Mars. So that's some intense energy over there. People could really be going off around this. I mean, that could be combustible. That could be really combustible. A lot of kind of flipping out anger. It's squaring up with all this Capricorn stuff, this Pluto, South Node. Uranus-Pluto square, I mean, this is old news. This is 5 years probably of this Uranus-Pluto square. I mean, back and forth with this for a long time. It's been going on. But then you put Mars in it, you know, in the sign of Aries, and fire. So we've got this fire. And then you throw Mars in there. That's like dousing it with gasoline or something. You know, that really just makes it huge. Actually, there's a big grand cross going on. We've got the nodes in Pluto, in the cardinal signs, Capricorn, Cancer. Over here we've got Aries, and then it's opposing Pallas Athena, which is a asteroid. Not everybody uses it, but I throw those asteroids in. So, I mean, this could be very, you know, Pallas Athena, who's she? The warrior. She's going to go to battle too. She's opposing Mars, you know. So she's, you know, they're having a battle, or they're having an opposition, which could be an argument, or they're opposed to each other, you know. And then you throw Pluto in there, which is also powerful and can elevate that type of energy. Pluto's the god of the underworld. It's death and destruction, you know. I'm not saying that there's going to be death and destruction. And that's not a doom and gloom forecast here. But there's some powerful energy going on. And people could kind of blow their top, you know. Whenever there's all this kind of stuff going on, all of it, especially Mars and Uranus and stuff, there's always a way, you know, it's not like, okay, there it is, right there, done deal, end of story. Going to be a fight, going to be this, going to be that. No, there's a positive and negative to every astrology symbol and planet placement. And there's a positive and negative way to use the energy. Mars is very physical. It's sex. You know, it could be great sex. You could be working out. Doing something physical can dissipate that energy that could lead to physical aggression. You know, there's always a way around it. So aggression. This could be very much an aggressive or aggression vibration. So use it up. Go out if you're in a warmer climate at this time of year. Go out and dig in the dirt. That's always a good one for me. You know, go out and dig in the garden, dig in the dirt. You know, use your physical where you might want to, you know, anger, where you feel anger. And burn it up, burn up that energy. Mars can give you a lot of physical stamina, energy, motivation to get things done. So that's the value of looking at the astrology stuff too. I mean, you see this is here, so it's just like, you're not just like a victim to it. Oh, I'm just so irritated. I'm sorry, this phone. I'm so irritated today, and you know, I don't know what to do with it. Well, do something physical. That's a good way to do it. With the Mercury and the Aquarius energy and the Mercury over here, this is more in your head. This is definitely more, this is more physical in your body, and this is more in your head and your ideals. And stop and think before you speak. Use this energy to find some enlightenment. Excuse me. Something that came up with me lately is when I hear negative stuff, it's just like, well, who would benefit from this? And I'm not going to open a big argument about this, but this was just something that came up around the holidays because everybody's doing DNA testing and that. And all of a sudden, like my one daughter won't do it. You know, she thinks it's going to be some grand manipulation. And in particular, this one, 23andMe is the company that she said, oh no, I read an article and specifically it's 23andMe and they're negative, negative, negative. Okay. Well, then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, who would benefit? You know, who would benefit in 23andMe not doing well? Who was the genealogy king of the world before 23andMe came along? You know, I'm not saying that this is the case, but I you know, it's something to consider. You know, anything that's you know, which would have been with the one with the. Not Heritage, you know, Ancestry.com. They had cornered the market. And then all of a sudden 23, and they're offering DNA tests too. right? Doesn't the leaf people, they offer the DNA test too. So I can't help but wonder. I'm not saying that this is the thing or anything, but it just when I hear something like that, it's always like, well, who would benefit from this not being true? Who's benefiting from it? That's something to consider on so many fronts. What doesn't have to be political, it can be anything, especially anything that's you're hearing, it comes up in your feed on social media. If it's something that seems like, especially with Uranus energy, Aquarius Uranus energy, it could be like really shocking, or, oh wow, I never knew that, or maybe it's some quote unquote secret that's revealed. Stop and think for a minute before you just jump on that bandwagon, of, oh, okay, break out the pitchforks and going after whoever or whatever, Who would benefit from that? Who could possibly benefit from you turning on whatever? Turning on a certain politician, turning against them, turning against a certain company or food or any kind of anything. Any kind of scandalous rumor, gossip that seems like kind of shocking or, outrageous. Well, just stop and think for a second. Who might have planted that seed? And many times it might be somebody whose power is already in power with the Capricorn, Saturn, Pluto energy here, whose power is being challenged. So there's this, they put it out through the internet and the social media. I mean, it's just something to think about. I'm not saying that the ancestry did this, or that's just something that popped in my mind, and I've been trying to look at that lately. It's just like, well, who would, even if it's something that sort of goes along with my opinions, if it's like, aha, see, I told you I was right, when that comes up within you, oh, I told you you're right, stop and think for a second. Well, who would benefit from this? Who, powers that be, would benefit from this? And it really makes you think. It really puts a different spin on things when you kind of stop and consider that. Okay, so we've still got the Jupiter and the Neptune here. In a negative way, that could totally blow up some secrets, like amplify them, make them bigger, because Neptune rules over secrets and lies and deceptions and things like that on its negative vibration, and Jupiter amplifies and makes more of. So you might think you're learning something through Jupiter and Sagittarius in its own house, but maybe it's just a grand manipulation. I think that these grand manipulations, another thing that's not my words, but I think they're happening more and more and more, and it's getting more and more difficult to discern what's the truth. I mean, the fact-checking sites are there, but they can't even keep up. It takes a while for them to catch up. And then there's people who'll say, oh, well, the fact-checking sites, they're that's all a lie too, so, okay. Yeah, it's just getting more and more difficult to discern what's what anymore, in this new age that we're in. Got a lot of things at these higher critical degrees. We've got Mars at 23, 28 Uranus, 27 Taurus with Juno over here. The nodes are high. Chiron is 29, 20. Oh, it's just there. It's just ready to go back into Aries. So this dip, these 29s are these critical degrees. They're turning points. They're pivots. It's a turning point from one vibration to another. The Palace at 28 Libra. Because it only, if you're not familiar, it only goes to 29 and then it goes back to 0. 29 and then 59 and it goes back to 0. There's a 59 there. So then it goes back to the next degree, So they're just right there. They're just right there, ready on the tipping point, ready. We're on the precipice of this whole new vibration. But there was some stuff that we had to go back and we had to clean up in the past here. And that's what's going on right now. So it's a re-examining. I mean, nothing's really retrograding right now. Everything's direct. But yet these 29 degrees, these things that have dipped back in. Uranus dipped back in. It wasn't Taurus. It dipped back into Aries. Chiron was in Aries and it dipped back into Pisces. So this dipping back into, it's like a little bit of a cleanup. It's a little bit of we missed something. We might have missed something. we're about to change a whole big vibration. You know, Uranus changing sign is a pretty big deal. That doesn't happen. That's at least a few years. I'm not sure how many, but these are some big shifts of energy. Like the sun changes sign once a month, the moon changes sign every couple days. You know, that's energy that's, while it can be significant, is not as significant as these outer planets when they make these big shifts and these big changes. So we're shifting and changing. It's happening all around. And everybody feels that on some level, but I think we don't all agree where the changes should occur or what the new paradigm is going to be about. Be careful that you're not being manipulated, you know. Question. Lilith questions authority, you know. And not in a way of being just an idiot throwing tomatoes or something, you know, like that kind of a rebel without a cause vibration. More of through your intellect, through inquiry, through reasoning and thought, mental, you know. Not just, you know, that's Mars. Oh, you suck, you don't know anything, blah, blah, blah. You know, just coming up with negative, you know, complaining, negative, not being willing to listen to reason. Because there's deeper things going on here on so many levels, on so many fronts. It's not just politics, it's not just ancestry, DNA, you know, it's everywhere. There's things going on. And these powers that be don't want to let go of what they have, you know. And they'll manipulate you to go against your own well-being, your own best interest. And you really have to do some homework, you know. I'm hearing due diligence, yeah. You got to do some homework. You got to. It's hard because there's a lot of different things flying around out there. So it's hard. Back to Leo being the part of fortune. So the Leo energy is in your heart. If you stop and not just jumping on the bandwagon and, you know, my team versus your team, if you just stop and hold on, feel through your heart, that's a way that you can tell if there's truth. And your guts too. That's another thing. Definitely through your gut. Put your hand on your belly and ask the question and feel through it, you know, and you can tell if it's true a lot of times. I know that's not, you know, that's like when whatever the president was saying, I'm going to pray on it, and everybody lost their shit. You can't just do that, but when you're getting a lot of different misinformation and there's just so much crap flying around, go inward, into your heart, into the stillness, and you can find the truth there. You know, it's hard to find the truth anymore. Even in this information age, it can be harder than ever to find the truth. And maybe it's a shifting timelines thing. Maybe the truth is malleable, you know, depending on the timeline you're on, I guess. That's definitely a possibility. But that's what I mean, just be open to the possibilities. There's all sorts of possibilities. And truth is always changing, you know. 100 years ago it was true, or, you know, however many years ago it was true that if you got a certain disease you were going to die of it, you know. But that's not true anymore in a lot of cases, you know. So truth is always changing too. There's no. It's the expanded universe thing that I always talk about. We are in an expanded universe, and things are expanding and changing all the time. And that is, you know, very, very much in this Aquarius energy. Like I did the Star Trek quote, you know. It's this, it's space, outer space, advanced technology, everything moving forward to the future, futuristic inventions, all Aquarius energy. That's all this vibration. So it's a great time to do that within yourself too. Try to look at things from a different angle, even if it's not to look at it from your adversary's point of view. Try to see it from a higher level. Who's benefiting from me fighting with my friends on social media? Who's benefiting from that? Who's benefiting from whatever? Just start, like, it's like follow the breadcrumbs, follow the trails, you know. And you might be surprised what you discover. At least, even if there's no solid truth or facts that you discover, at least it's like maybe to, you know, open your mind to the possibilities of, you know, I don't know that that's true about the DNA thing, and I'm not even saying that that is a thing, but it did occur to me, you know. It's like, well, who benefits from who would benefit from putting down the 23andMe people? Maybe they are doing what they say. I'm not saying they're not, but it's just something to consider. And it very likely could be. There's a good chance. If you've got a corner, if you've got the market cornered, and then all of a sudden somebody's taken half of your pie, you know. And that could apply to, again, just a myriad, so many different things. Okay, yeah, last time I missed the Saturn-Mars square. So somebody know, I always tend to miss something, because I don't want to review these before I start this, which is a live reading. We're doing this off the cuff, baby. Yeah, it's this Mars is conjunct Uranus. More of a square of Pluto. It's kind of what I was saying, you know, this challenging authority. Sometimes people want to just challenge authority, you know, just to be assholes, like little punk kids, you know. Let's go egg the teacher's house, you know, or, you know, that's just acting out, childish, or name calling, you know, just calling people names and putting people down instead of, you know, that's not going to do anything. That's half the time I think that's what these powers that be want to trigger within you. They want to trigger this childlike, you know, outburst of anger and, you know, bad behavior, childish behaviors, because then they can just write you off. Look at, they're just so, you know. Then you won't be taken seriously, you know. You're not making any valid points. You're just some angry person who's, you know, throwing mud or tomato. They keep showing me throwing tomatoes. That's what I keep seeing. Then, you know, you've been manipulated. You've been controlled. You've been knocked down to your primal, you know, primal nature. Well, if you use your intellect and you use this for positive, you could discover all sorts of things. And then maybe you could have something intelligent to say back to somebody that's worth even saying, not just some rehashed blah 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 blah, you know, your mother eats whatever, you know, like a playground taunts half the time. Half of this stuff that I see, I can't even take it. I just can't even. It's just like, this is so childish and ridiculous, you know. If you have something legitimate to say, if you've discovered some new information, or want to have an adult conversation or an intelligent conversation or exchange of ideas and valid points, then yay, I'm all for it. But if you're just going to come up with this dumb baby shit, I'm sorry, I don't want to listen to it. I just don't. But that could be, you know, it's never ending. That could be a tactic too, because then people are just turning off, and then, you know, while the cat's away, the mice will play. You know, you have to pay attention. So it's just crazy. It's just a crazy world that we live in anymore, I'm telling you. But this is a big emphasis on that. You know, and then you throw the Lilith in too. And Lilith was not playing baby games. Lilith was adamant about being treated equally, no matter what they tortured or did to her. She wouldn't back down. So there's that element. Lilith is in there, but it can be extreme. This is potential for a lot of things to kind of hit the fan. I'll be honest. The Grand Cross here with Pluto and Mars and Uranus, it could just go haywire, and then people, you know, Lilith energy all in here, you know, standing up and, you know, wanting to, not backing down. There's a lot of warrior. There's a lot of argumentative energy going on here. How can we transcend it? Through Jupiter, through education, through higher knowledge, through intelligent conversation. That's not just, you know, like you got your bag full of tricks, you know, these one-liners, you know, these tomatoes that are these one-liners. Well, Hillary's emails, you know, are whipping, you know, these stupid shit that people just whip out or whatever. I shouldn't say stupid shit. But I mean, that's how I feel about it. you know, Hillary is completely, I mean, we're going to be talking about something completely different. And somebody's going to whip out that Hillary email line. It's like, really? It's 2 years ago? She's not involved in politics anymore? It has absolutely nothing to do with anything, you know? Because they don't have a, and we're not even talking politics, you know, just, you know, this thing, you know, people just throw out these little bombs that they got in their little stack of insult hurling vibrations, you know. That could really be amplified at this time with the Mars and Uranus there. So, maybe turn off your computer, go outside, dig in the dirt, make love, get laid, use up that energy, go to the gym, work out, go on a hike, you know, use that energy up. There's better ways to use that energy up than engaging in these, you know, petty arguments just because you want to be right, you know. Do you want to be right, or do you want to have a better life? Do you want to be right, or do you want to play for the winning team? You know, is this entertainment for you? Is it some kind of sporting event? No, these are things that really affect your life in a big way with Aquarius. Affect the group, the whole group. So it's something worth thinking about, contemplating. If you're feeling triggered in any way, because this could be like you get triggered, this stuff here. They know how to trigger you. They know how to set you, they know how to push your buttons. And how do they know that? By your responses on social media, through the internet and stuff. You know, they know what pisses you off and what you like, or what makes. That's why we have the angry. You can be angry on Facebook now. You know, so they know exactly what pisses you off or makes you angry, or. So you can be triggered all day, and thinking you're on the cutting edge, or are you still being manipulated? You know. So just step back and think about it. Who benefits from me getting angry about this? Who benefits from it? If you back up, because Aquarius is kind of, Aries and these lower, they're all right here, right here. Aquarius is way out here. So when you get way out here, you see the forest and the trees and everything, you know. It's different. So, yeah, some combustible, heavy energy, absolutely. There's ways to avoid it. Or if you want to jump in, if you like that vibration, if you like throwing those tomatoes back and forth and knock yourself out, you're going to have a field day. But I think most of the people that are tuning into these forecasts really don't want to be involved in that kind of stuff. We're more looking for a higher level, looking for some enlightenment, looking to comprehend, understand. That's all here. We've got a sextile between this and Jupiter. So enlightenment, learning, expanding our mental capacity, expanding beyond where no man has gone before, or maybe not no man or woman, but you yourself, beyond your own previous limitations, or you know, your own glass ceilings of enlightenment, knowledge, and so on. Okay. If something pushes you and makes you angry, chances are you're getting manipulated. I think that's the big deal. I think that's something you can really. There's just too many things to go into. But if it makes you hate or makes you angry, think about who benefits from it. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Hey everyone, I wanted to let you know that I am open up for the equinox reading. This is what it would look like. It's your chart in here, and then I put the equinox chart around the outside. It's called a bi-wheel, and I tune in and do the chart just like I do these charts here. And you could find that over on my website. Under the reading section, it's here. It's going to be available for the limited time. It'll be the Aries ingress. So the Aries ingress in astrology, most people, that's the new year, not January 1st. It's the Aries, and it always coincides with right around the Chinese New Year too, the new moon. This might be the new moon for the Chinese New Year, maybe next one, probably the next one. But yeah, so in Asian culture, the Chinese New Year starts around the Aries ingress, and astrologers, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So it's kind of like a kickoff for the year, but it's really for the season. You know, it's a popular reading every year, so if you're interested, it'll be available for a limited time. You can go check that out. And I have other readings and stuff on my page, so please do check it out. Yeah, it's some pretty combustible energy, but the new moon itself here is in the sign of Aquarius. So Aquarius is higher enlightenment, the higher mind, What's good for all. Aquarius says what's good for all, what's good for mankind, humanity, science. It's very strong with science. So there's a great opportunity for this to emerge, but it's through a lot of turbulence. There's a lot of turbulence going every which way that it's got to kind of, what they're showing me is almost like spider webs or something. You know, all the squares and everything that's going on. And then, but it could bust through. There's an opportunity for something to really bust through and break out, and newer things to come through. Okay, so I hope that you like this reading. If you want to hit subscribe, it's over here. If you don't miss the forecast, you can find my site up above or below. I have Patreon. I appreciate all your help through there and everything else. Remember, you are love and beauty incarnate, and have a great new moon, and I'll speak to you soon.